Welcome back, Year 6. Okay, so I'm going to share my waggle with you now. So just as a recap, these are the kind of things that I'd expect to see in your diary. You're really good at diaries. You've written some fantastic diaries in class. So just remember to use these features. Remember, short introduction, who, why, where. It's written in the first person using pronouns I, me, my, we, us. It's written mostly in the past tense. Get that informal, chatty language as if you're talking to your friends. It shows characters, thoughts, feelings and actions. It includes reported speech and it concludes with a reflection. So I want to share my waggle with you now. So, dear diary, well, I failed again. Shocker. That's 3 attempts in a row now. I've completely crashed and burned. I can't see me ever getting through this test, but I need to if I'm ever going to do my dream job, abduction pilot first class. Now, in that opening paragraph, you can see I've got that informal, chatty language, shocker, crashed and burned. You wouldn't put that in an explanation text and things like that, but you can get away with it when you were writing a diary. As darkness settled over planet Earth, I felt so confident. I'd revised and revised and revised some more. I thought I had it. My heart sank when I discovered that my examiner was, yeah, you guessed it, Mr. B, the toughest, meanest examiner ever. All I had to do was to beam the human abductee from the safety of his comfortable bed onto our ship. Sounds easy, you think. Not when you have Mr. B breathing down your neck. I could feel his eyes boring into the back of my skull. As soon as he told me that the test had begun, my weary eyes glanced from the plethora of switches that stretched for what seemed like miles to the flickering hologram that floated above the console. I tried smiling at him to break the tension. His face remained unmoving and as still as a statue. Squinting through one eye, I selected switch after switch. Disastrous. I missed the open window by a fraction of an inch. And again and again. I'm surprised that the subject slept through the constant head banging against the wall. The more I heard the click of Mr. B's pen, the more nervous I became. I hung my head as I imagined the unflattering comments that were being written. Some people strive under pressure, others, like me, crumble. That's when I lost it, completely. Flinging myself down on the console, I swiped every button I could. The abductee went mental, flying around his room like a tornado wreaking destruction. Now you can see in that paragraph, again, I've got my feelings, that's just one example, but I also have that reported speech. So as soon as he told me that the test had begun, I've not said Mr. B said the test has begun. So it's in past tense and you've got that as he told me that. And that makes it into reported speech. Still nothing from Mr. B. Stony silence. Unmoving mountain. Then success. Well, sort of. I finally found the right switch. I found the window. The subject was caught in the retraction beam. He left the window bottom first, but he did leave the window. Even the tall, towering tree was no match for me. I pushed the switch harder, and he flew through the air closer and closer, held in suspended animation. A huge smile spread across my face. I had succeeded. My triumph was short-lived, however. In my hasty celebration, I released the switch a fraction too soon, and I lost my prize. Even though I had transported the human onto the ship, I hadn't checked the door was closed and my trophy plummeted back down to earth. Mr. B had to take over. I know, the shame of it. I will never live this down. I tried to reach the switch, which I now knew was the correct one, but Mr. B scooted me across to the other side of the room. His arms were a blur as he flipped and pushed switch after switch. It was amazing to watch. The earthly room below returned itself to its original state. All my destruction was rectified in an instant. Devastated, I turned away from Mr. B. A single tear trickled down my quivering face. I think this must have melted Mr. B's icy exterior, because his next move blew my socks off. He let me drive, yes, actually handed over the spaceship controls to me. Me! I think I did an okay job, considering I'd never flown a spaceship before, with just one teeny tiny mishap. Really sorry, Year 6, that word should be trickled, not tricked. If I hadn't been so nervous, if I hadn't just been calm, if Mr. B had been friendlier and more considerate, then maybe I wouldn't have failed my abduction exam again. Oh well, at least I got to fly a spaceship through hyperspace. Not everyone can say that, can they? So you'll see in that reflection paragraph, Year 6, I've put an if, then sentence there. Now, you've got 3 if statements. You don't have to have 3. If you can only think of 1, brilliant. If you can think of 2, even better. 3, fantastic. Remember, you can separate them with a semicolon, and you do not start your next if with a capital letter. So you've got a semicolon here with followed by your if, semicolon followed by your if, and then your last one here is your semicolon followed by your then statement. Again, you don't have to use them in if you don't want to. You could just reflect on your day in whichever way you want to. I can't wait to read your diary entries. I've really missed reading your writing. Have a go. Hope you enjoy writing it. Bye.